guys, what's going on, and welcome back to the Bradford Save, where I think the people at skysports.com are slightly drunk. Admittedly, it is the 28th of December, so they probably actually are, from Christmas and all that, because we're apparently favourites in our match against Tottenham. Now, Tottenham are 11th and we are 5th, and we've had an excellent December, admittedly, but season preview wise, still very much 1,000 to 1 versus 4 to 1. And just to point out, they still have all of their good players as well. Harry Kane's still there, Eriksen's still there, etc, etc. Although if they finish 11th, I would not be surprised if Harry Kane moved on. Man City do want him. But back to our fixtures list just briefly to run you through the previous two. So we had a home game and an away game. Home games are selling out every single time. I would not be surprised by some form of expansion over the summer, especially considering new investment money, I guess. Probably going to happen now. But it was a 1-0 victory against Burnley, 66 minutes on the clock when Brais Lopez bobbed the goal in. And then Newcastle, well, Hendricks and Lopez once again on the score sheet. Now, I criticised Lopez last time around for putting in a bunch of subpar performances. Now, overall, his rating's not too bad, but he was on a bit of a slide, bit of a nothingness for about 3 or 4 games, so I bobbed Torman in that Ipswich match. Of course, Torman scored 2, but also got injured, which meant Lopez was immediately back in regardless. I think the scare of losing out his first team football got him back on track with an 8.1 and an 8.0 respectively. So I'm just going to show you the highlight for the goal against Newcastle, the Lopez goal for Newcastle. Because Araujo picks up the ball here, Lascelles passes it back to Dubravka, and there's Lopez chasing, hunting him down, and, well, let's just be thankful Dubravka was playing for them in that situation rather than us, because that's a howler. Kolasinac with possibly the worst rating I've ever seen on Football Manager, 5.6 there during that match. God knows what he did to deserve that. Thankfully, the vast majority of our boys are still nice and fit, despite there only being 1 day gap between the two fixtures. We played Newcastle on Boxing Day and now Tottenham on the 28th of December, so not a lot of time. Did rest them up in between, has kept them above 90 at the very least. I would suspect other clubs are struggling a little bit more with that situation. Now, of course, I did highlight at the very end of last episode, but Medina picked up an injury, which of course is problematic because we now have no natural right backs. However, thankfully, Reed can play basically everywhere except the back and the left. So he's doing that now for temporarily. Thankfully, Chad Lamb is only 12 days away, apparently, at the very worst. We'll get him back in early January at the very least. Probably gonna get myself a little bit more cover in that position in the January period. Maybe that's the one thing I am going to be looking at. I'm not expecting a busy January, but I said that last time and, well, January proved me wrong. Personally, I'm not looking for anything, but I obviously cannot guarantee that someone's going to be sniffing around some of our players that have been performing incredibly well. Fingers crossed we managed to keep hold of everyone though, because, well, I like them. The lineup is as follows: Raya, Osborne, Queiroz, Garcia and Reed. Did forget to mention also, Ode Pereira picked up a knock just before the Newcastle match, so we're without him probably for this and the Chelsea match, not entirely sure. But Ferreira Dominguez makes an appearance for this one just because Icomar team was once again the least fit of the normal outgoing 11. Much next to him just because obviously Reed's taken over at right back, so I needed to bring him in as well. Midfield looking slightly under strength, but we will absolutely take it for now. Lopez and Tex on the wings as one would expect, and Hendricks up front. Now, still not strictly speaking prolific, and I'm not sure how any of the other strikers would be doing on a consistent basis, but I'm just going to stick with him now, just for consistency's sake. Ruiz is on the bench. Guri's just taking a step out just temporarily, just because of the midfielder situation. We just need to have roster around on the bench for that situation, just because, well, we're running out of midfielders at this point, to be honest. Yeah, we only have Jack Byrne outside of the midfielders on the pitch and on the bench. Admittedly, we do have 4 midfielders on the pitch right now, just one of them isn't in midfield. But anyway, off we go for Tottenham, and they line up an identical formation, even if not a particularly familiar Tottenham lineup. let's be honest, there are a few people still kicking around. As Lucas Moura's on the bench, as you can see here. Lloris is on the bench. Obviously, Kane and Eriksen still around. Son is still there, but he's just not in the team. His wages are fairly high, but I am tempted to keep an eye on Son's situation. We are the favourites. I'm going to go for the media one. That didn't work. Oh, that's worked. A little bit better now. Anyway, this game is underway now. Of course, both teams in their natural home kits. Maroon and orange for us, white and blue for them. And that's Lopez on the edge of the box. Gone slightly further back for Ferreira here, but he managed to pass it all the way over to Reed on the far side, who could swing one in. No, that ricochets off and goes to Cuisance. I'm going to presume that's pronounced. I don't know why I went. I think he is French, but that's gone all the way past to Traore, who's scored. Well, it's disappointing. Not great work from, I'm going to assume that's Kyrgios with the number 32. I'm not expecting him to have a high number, but it's sort of just gone straight past him and allow Traore. Admittedly, Osborne not really tracking Traore particularly well either, getting back. Just checked. Kyrgios is number 32. That was his fault. Although, admittedly, Raya could have probably done a little bit better in intercepting that cross as well. Not just on the defenders. Rogers there. This half has vanished. Incidentally, we've had 8 shots, 3 on target. They've had 1 on target, and they're 1-0 up. Welcome to Football Manager. That was nearly 2-0. Only 2 highlights I've seen are there too, so I have no idea why our 3 shots on target have not been highlights. I am going to get aggressive. Show a bit of desire, lads. Come on. Get on with it. I did wonder if Tottenham and Arsenal would make a bit of a resurgence. They sort of have. Obviously, if Tottenham win this, they move up, as you saw there, to 9th. Arsenal have sort of done a little bit, not quite 100% there yet. Obviously, us and West Ham still in 5th and 6th, respectively. And I'm not sure if there's going to be any highlights in this game at all. I would like it if something would happen at some point with someone. Now, Lopez isn't playing badly. Much is playing awful. No one's super tired, but it looks like Much is having the worst of the game so far, so Rostad is going to step in there for now. Hendricks isn't having the best game. Yeah, I'm just going to straight swap both of those two. Just the lowest performers. Still nothing's happened. Tech's playing fairly badly. Just going to bring Gribben on that side just because he can sort of go in over there. He's not amazing at it, but I don't think it's going to be a highlight this half, if I'm completely honest. Nope. Not a single highlight in the second half. This doesn't count because it's going to be the end of game highlight. Well, I'm absolutely glad that I decided to bring you this match. 2 highlights. And Man City have usurped the top position. Now, Liverpool did have... Well, they had a game in hand, but... Man City had a game in hand, but they've done it on this game week alone because of Liverpool drawing here. And Man City winning. Well, it's 7-1. Also, I'm just going to highlight here. Leeds have made a bit of an effort to go slightly clear of the drop zone, which is good for rivalry's sake. Winning away at Leicester, actually, in this particular game week. So, well done them. Yeah, Tottenham up to 9th now as things stand. No games in hand for them or anything like that, but 3 points behind Arsenal and still 8 behind us in 6th. So, I'm far from pleased with that result. Sort of. Get back to training. FA Cup 3rd round on January, and our wait to beat any of the top 6 continues. And welcome back for the FA Cup here on the 1st of January 2022. The Saturday happens to have fallen on New Year's Day, so FA Cup's happening on New Year's Day in this particular year. I guess, obviously, Premier League Chelsea versus now Premier League Bradford City is the game that we're playing. However, there's actually not that many Premier League offs. In fact, I think we might be the only one on the Saturday. Apparently all the games are happening on Saturday apart from Leeds and Leicester on Monday, which of course is Premier League off at this point. So it's only us and Leeds who are facing Premier League opposition, apparently. There are 2 League 2 matches. Fylde and Shrewsbury play each other, as well as Notts County and Doncaster. They're the only 2 guaranteed outcomes where there will be a League 2 team in round 4. There's a couple of League 1 versus League 2s, but only 2 guaranteed League 2 teams in round 4. There's no Vanarama teams got through to the 3rd round, annoyingly and sadly. I think this might be one to keep an eye on as well. Watford versus Norwich. Of course, very much struggling Watford versus Championship Norwich. That could be an upset there. And there is a Tyne and Tees derby with Middlesbrough and Newcastle here. Not a great deal to look forward to here in terms of interesting spectacles. Other than, of course, Chelsea vs Bradford, a fixture which has caused its fair share of upsets in recent history, in real life, and hopefully another one here. Of course, we're both Premier League, so it's not that much of an upset anymore. However, there's still 1 to 2 favourites. So, that being said, of course, apart from the problematic right-back position as things stand, we are able to field a full first-strength team. I am conscious of the fact we do play Liverpool in 3 days, so I kind of don't want to really put a first team out. However, I would quite like to win this, so at the same time. So I am going to put the full first 11 out, which of course is Osborne, Pereira, Garcia, Reed. Pereira actually back to full fitness, thankfully. Ferreira in goal. Ferreira, Much and Martin in the middle. Martin makes a full return to the first team as well. Lopez and Tex and Hendricks up front. And then you have a very much attacking formation. Will Hughes and Harry Winks in the middle. Very actually surprisingly English. I say surprisingly English. Surprisingly English Chelsea team. It's literally those 3 and Jack Butland in goal. Of course, Wonder Kids galore in this team, or at least current and former Wonder Kids galore in this team. Ampadu, Butland, Zuma, Winks, Mount, Zaha, Pulisic, Fedor. Wow, they've gone all out on the Wonder Kids. Pavard on the bench as well. Andreas Christensen, of course, is one they already have, I think. Belotti as well for good measure. They haven't actually gone full first strength, I don't think, because Belotti's their usual starter. There we are, full green as we kick off. Chelsea in the blue, of course. Bradford in the maroon as Chelsea kick things off. And there's a highlight after 1 minute. Side netting for Arp. Great. I'm hoping we can get in this match a little bit more than, say, the Liverpool match or indeed the Arsenal match. However, 3-1 right now, shots-wise, possession. We are being dominated on possession, which is very rare for us, admittedly, where you are usually over the 50% marker. On that front, it is with them, but that's... Martinez has kind of stopped in the middle there, but Pulisic has run through and missed. No one decided to intercept him for some reason. We aren't doing particularly well right now, so I'm going to demand a little more. Oh, we've had a couple of shots. Ferreira's nipped in there. Hendricks is on the ball now, but he is surrounded by 4 players, but manages to get it to Martin, who gives it to Chelsea. Zaha will run onto that, despite the fact we have 3 players in promising positions. Oh, that's an own goal. That is an own goal. I mean, watch this. Like, as this goes out here, there's 3 Bradford players who could have got on. I mean, admittedly not him that much, but there were 3 Bradford players who could have gotten onto that before Zaha did get there. I mean, I don't know what Garcia was doing, let's be honest. Literally passed it into his own net. But Pereira here just gives it to Pulisic because Lopez decided to forget he was playing football. 21. Yep, he's been hounded. Zaha in a bit of space. Somehow, I can say if I got back to a player, that would be annoying as heck. Pereira. Azpilicueta, Hughes. I don't know what Ferreira was doing, just lumped it into the middle of nowhere. Zaha runs round our entire team. Mbabu in space. Zaha. If they'd scored that, I'd have been incredibly annoyed because we had about 19 chances to get the ball off them in that one particular passage to play. Well, that's been hoofed up to Zaha now. Ferreira intercepts whatever he was trying to do there. Back to Ferreira, who hasn't had the best of games so far, in my opinion. He might be doing alright in the ratings. Martin. Hendricks is sort of through here, but Lopez in some space and scores. Sorry, there's a little bit of surprise in that. We are getting a little bit back into the possession game as well. Up to 45 now, from about a third, which isn't too bad. Tex passes it into the middle to Martin here, who does actually do it fairly decent pass to Hendricks if he decided to run on that himself, but didn't. Passed it across to Lopez, who popped it under Jack Butland, who isn't their number 1 goalie, I think. I think Rooley is their number 1 goalie, as things stand. Mount. But yeah, in terms of like cup runs, I'm kind of interested in getting a few cup runs. Oh my god. Oh, that was very close to being a Schmeichling beret there, because apparently that came off the crossbar. We do go into half-time 1-1. I am not happy with the way we played, though. Ferreira has lost possession more than any other player on the team. I wasn't going crazy. I mean, it says 80% pass completion, but that is bad for him. Ferreira's usually in the 90s for pass completion, so the fact he's on 80% is particularly bad. Stoke are dominating Birmingham, meanwhile. Tex is... Can we pay attention to football? Like, someone tackle him? The amount of times we're just letting players go, oh, hi, is ridiculous. I mean, that's just calendar Ferreira. And, well, that's nowhere near. Interesting substitution from Chelsea. I am baffled by our performance. I'm going to demand more again. Mount on a free kick here. Sort of squares that to Winks, and Tex did kind of get that, and then switched off once he'd done the tackle. Winks in, maybe? No, okay, out to Mount. And, well, should have been a goal, let's face it. But Raya has saved us. Just hoofed it up again instead of passing it. Mount's in a dangerous position here, and Raya saved us once more. In fairness, I'd be angry if they tried to play their way out of defence when we're under pressure. So, nobody is playing well today. I don't really have anyone for the Mazzara role. So I'm going to bring on Gribben here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go slightly more attacking. Sod it, why not? I don't want another match, honestly. So I would rather lose or win. I don't want to draw. I don't need another match in January right now. I mean, obviously Reed's not playing well, but I don't have a substitution for that. Ray's on a 7.3, which says everything about our situation right now. I'm going to go balanced as well. I want to get back into this a little bit more. We've just had 2 bookings in 2 minutes. Probably sending off here. Is Lopez going to get sent off here? Nope. Okay. Pavard. That's going to get to Reed, but terrible header to Azpilicueta from him. Kante on the ball. Malishev, no idea. Back out to Azpilicueta, who's not being marked in any slot. I mean, Raya has been the signing of the season, let's be honest here, because they should be winning this about 9-1. The highlight continues. Mbabu. That's going to get to Pereira in the middle. Kante on the edge of the box. Nope, Zaha. Well, I said I'd rather go 2-1. Either way. Great goal by Zaha. Frankly, it's been coming. It's absolutely ridiculous, this match. No one is marking anyone. What is happening in this match? There's going to be some form of offside highlight here. I mean, he's clearly onside. Why is that happening? There's another highlight here. I was going to say demand more briefly. 2 players. Can we have a throw-in where it goes to our player rather than their player who runs in behind our player and nicks it off him? It's the 4th time, I think, in this game I've seen a throw-in go straight to their team because we aren't paying attention to runners. I've forgotten to make a 3rd change here. We did not have a single shot in that second half, I don't think. I am going to get unbelievably aggressive. See you in training. You do not deserve anything for that performance. Although I'm going to rest them anyway because we play Liverpool in 2 days. I'm genuinely angry at that performance. That is unforgivable. I mean, we didn't obviously Liverpool was a similar situation earlier on the season, and an Arsenal. I mean, embarrassing own goal aside, right? Next time round is Man City and Watford. That's already been agreed. I mean, like I said, I'd rather we lost than drew that match because I did not want to replay because that would have probably bobbed in between the Bournemouth and Chelsea matches or something like that. So we did not have space for a 3rd match to be occurring. And in a way, obviously not having a 4th round match as well frees up this a little bit later on as well. So a 4th round match I could have handled. A replay would have been annoying. It's also gone from what, according to the match, was... According to the summary, it was a surprisingly mild day. And of course, 3 days later, 0 heavy snow. At least the Football Manager's got the weather simulation down pat. So, yeah, next time round, Man City and Watford. Premier League matches. Of course, Man City now in 1st. And Watford, well, last does not really do that justice. They are on course for derbying their way through this season. And I have no idea what's happened to them. It's not even like they have a bad team. They've picked up Maddison, cleverly, Sessegnon. He's a fairly decent goalkeeper, I think. Delo Ferreira is still there. And Aranda's a fairly decent player from what I remember. And considering they've had like consistent... I mean, they were 17th in the first simulated season, but they've had consistent mid-table performances the last couple of seasons. I do not know what happened to Watford. First and last next time round might be changed by the time we get there. There's 4 Premier League games in between. But yeah, Man City and Watford next time round. I've started January transfer business already. looking to strengthen the team. But I'll bring you all that news. I say Man City and Watford. It does entirely depend on how much transfer business we do, actually. If we do a lot of transfer business, it might end up being just Watford. But until then, obviously, I don't know what's going to happen until I get there. So until then, ta-ra.